Hi, Romans here and welcome to another music review. I review every album from a viewpoint of a musician, as I am a singer, songwriter and a bass player for my own group Jakobay, and 3.5 years ago we released our debut album called Pursuits in Life. What makes it unique is that it's a heavy prog rock without guitars. Instead you have drums, bass, saxophone and keyboards. You can check out all of our music videos on my YouTube channel. And in the description of all these videos we'll find all the information about where is the record available. It's available on all digital platforms like Spotify, Tidal, Deezer, iTunes, Amazon, Bandcamp, but also in this digipack version of a CD with a very beautifully illustrated 20 pages long booklet. So in case you want one, all you need to do is contact me via email, on Facebook or on Instagram, or you can get one through Bandcamp as well. And today I'm going to review the new album from Trivium, In the Court of the Dragon.
Music review. Music review.
This is another album where I'm kind of late with the review because it came out like 2.5 months ago. But if you watch my reviews, you know that I was extremely busy this year working on my second album. So that's why I didn't get around to actually do some of the reviews, Trivium being one of them. So before we start with the review, I don't think Trivium need any introduction. They're definitely one of the biggest metal bands right now. They've been around for like 18 years and have like 10 albums under their belt. And considering that they are still like in their mid to late 30s, that's pretty amazing. I mean, and I discovered this band back in 2006 when they released their third album, The Crusade, which is still one of my all-time favorite metal albums. I think it's just a phenomenal work. I love it. And I have actually listened to all of their records. I've been through their whole discography, even though I wouldn't necessarily say I'm 100% familiar with everything. I would still need to go back many times to really be comfortable with talking about their discography. And they also released an album last summer, which I didn't find that great. That's why I didn't make a review for it, but I honestly don't really remember it anymore. But In the Court of the Dragon, this album blew me away. Ever since it came out, I have listened to it like 10 times. I was listening to it on and off. Let's talk about it. The album opens up with an ambient intro called just simply X, and this was actually produced, written and arranged by Insan, or Inshan, I'm not sure how it's pronounced. He's a black metal legend from Norway, and he's, I think, one of the reasons why Lepers are as famous as they are, because he really helped them at the beginning. So, interesting collaboration. The opening title track, In the Court of the Dragon, hits right in the face with its metalcore / thrash metal, and even though we get a melodic chorus a little later on, which is repeated like twice, it's that In the Court of the Dragon, you know, that part that just, it's the most memorable part for me from this track. Like a Sword Over Damocles is another heavy banger with a very melodic and accessible chorus, and this is something that they do quite a lot on this album, where you've got this really thrashy, fast, furious, and really fast and furious, just very aggressive metal parts, and then you have this very melodic, very catchy chorus. And this comes as a no surprise, because I think that they have like 1 or 2 albums with just clean vocals, where I think Matt Heavy, he was having some vocal problems, so he was singing just with his clean voice. So melodies are no stranger to Trivium, and I like how they make the album graspable, they make it accessible despite all the heaviness. And I'm just a sucker for melodies, so that's why I really like it. There is also this chanting part that is just so adrenaline pumping in this track, and I love it. Feast of Fire gives me some alternative rock vibes. I think that this track could fit Tremonti's solo albums. I really dig it.
Crawling through the feast of fire, burning, sinking down until these feelings begin to blur.
A Crisis of Revelation is a trashy and furious track, but yet again with a very well written, catchy chorus.
Will betray time when the skies that we time and wait for them to open.
The Shadow of the Abattoir is one of the 3 tracks exceeding the 7-minute mark, so they're a little bit more on the proggy side. And it starts slowly, he's singing in his deep voice, it even goes into that like fantasy / Middle Ages territory. And in a way, it reminds me of the tracks like Fade to Black, Welcome Home Sanitarium, or One from Metallica, which are best samples of like a power ballad. Power ballad, not really a ballad that you would dance with a girl to on a ball or whatever, but still kind of a tracks that have slower and emotional moments. And I think that these 3 tracks that I mentioned from Metallica are just so encrypted in our DNA that basically every metalhead keeps coming back to it in some way or another, myself included to some degree. So this is almost like paying homage to that. The chorus is punchy but melodically kind of similar to what we could hear so far. And then in the second half, there's this moment where it just gets so heavy that it is literally tearing your flesh from your bones. No Way Back Just Through is the shortest track. It's a modern metal at its best. Potential single, actually.
There's no way back, no way back, no way back, just through. There's no way back, no way back, no way back, just through.
Fall Into Your Hands is another one of those longer tracks. The screaming is great, and we yet again get a relief in the form of a chorus, which is very melodic, but it doesn't lose any of its power. The moment I like the most in this track, though, is that almost like cliche traditional heavy metal riffing, da 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 da, and it's just kind of a familiar moment in that it has been used so many times in heavy metal music, but it comes at the right point, and it's just the most headbanging moment on the whole record, and I just love it. Actually, I'm hungry for more. I wouldn't mind if there were more moments like that. That orchestral fantasy soundtrack-like ending of the track is a pretty big surprise for sure. From Dawn to Decadence is just another very well-written anthem.
It's like all we need and all we want, just withers on the vine with all we love. It's like all we need and all we want, just withers on the vine from dawn through.
And then we get a really epic closing track, The Phalanx.
Strip me wide open, rip me from the stars. If they should take me, then may they break me.
It's interesting that one of the biggest metal events of this year is considered to be the new album from Gojira, similarly to when they released their previous album Magma. And everybody's crowning Gojira as being the most important metal band right now and leading the charge and being at the top. They're great, I'm not saying they're not, but in my opinion Trivium are just much better, and Trivium are just the best example of a modern metal band. They're fantastic. Their music is absolutely top-notch, not to mention that they're still very young. And I think that Trivium should be considered to be the top metal band right now. I absolutely love this album, and actually it made me hungry to go back to their older records. If you like this review and if you like the videos I'm making, consider supporting me by purchasing my debut album Pursuits in Life. Because I include audio samples in my reviews and thus making them the most informative and entertaining to watch, I usually run a risk of getting a copyright claim, meaning that I won't be able to monetize my videos and whatever money a video earns goes to the author of the original samples, which I have no problems with because these bands and artists, they deserve all the support and all the money they can get. But these videos are extremely time consuming, so basically the best and the only way how you can support me is by buying my debut album. The second one is on its way, it should come out sometime next year, and if you like heavy music, well, you can find plenty of heavy moments on both of these records. Have you heard this album already? If you have, you can let me know in the comment section below whether you agreed or disagreed with me. If you are a Trivium fan, you can let me know how well do you think it compares to their previous albums, maybe which one is your favorite one. You can follow me on Facebook or on Instagram, you can find links to both in the description of this video below. Also, if you like this review, don't forget to like, to share, to subscribe. You can check out my own original music, my live performances, my very popular Worst to Best series, and quite a lot of other videos and series and reviews as well. Thanks a lot for watching. Are you watching?